All right, so we are the Sky Pioneers, and this is our documentary showing key points of aviation from the past to the future. And we will start by looking at what is commercial aviation. So, commercial aviation is the arm of aviation that transport cargo and passenger for remuneration. Remuneration is just pay. And we're going to look at examples of aviation. So as it states, we aviation can be seen as with a passenger carrying transporting passengers or cargo. And I think that most civilians are normal people look at aviation traveling as going on a jet plane, or you have like a favorite thing you buy from Amazon, transported through cargo. But there are it's a little bit more detailed than that. And so to speak, before the jet age, which I believe Iesha would further look at, there are planes that have piston engines, and these piston engines are made to propel the plane and provide power, and they're actually smaller in size. So these planes, they can carry up to about 5, 10, or even 12 passengers. And as I state, they are propelled by a piston engine. So that's the same engine that you're seeing in the modern cars nowadays. Nothing different. And to share my experience, because I do experience flying on these smaller planes, I remember doing a sightseeing, and the plane was able to hold only two people. And the plane went about, it go up to about 600 feet. And in the sky, I felt a little bit chill, so I sneezed. And I remember the plane was rocking to show you how small it was. And that was just basically my experience with smaller planes. Of course, the jet are more sturdier, they are bigger, so they can handle a lot more turbulence. And moving on, what is military aviation? So, military aviation is essentially any aircraft used for military purposes. And showing here that we have like fighter jets, those are aircrafts that do aerial fight combat transportation aircrafts. Those are aircrafts that transport like tanks, anything war related, and they can even transport equipment to set up a full base. We have surveillance aircraft. Of course, that's self-explanatory. They survey surroundings. We have boomers. These are the guys that go up in the sky, set down bombs, and basically boom up like other military bases for the enemies. Um, moving right along, let's look at some similarities and difference. So physically, you can see like the military aircraft, it has like a color scheme, and that's anywhere between like a dark green or a light green rather to a light gray. Um, it transport, of course, passenger just like the commercial aircraft, but its passenger is like military personnel, and it of course transport equipment for military. So on the commercial side now, these aircraft transport passengers as well, but of course these are civilians, normal people like you and me. We have the cargo section where it will transport like your favorite stuff you buy from Amazon. A couple of decades ago, it was made like mails, but now in the modern era, it transport like equipments, anything from cars to household appliances, etc., etc. Okay, so we're going to look at the immersion of military aircraft to commercial aircraft. So aircraft, commercial aviation industry owes many of its success to the early experimental military aircrafts, simply because the advancement of technology and safety measures used in the aviation industry was adapted from the World War era. So we're seeing here like the engines were a major change from the military to the commercial aircrafts, only because they're coming from a piston age to a jet age, and that makes flights a lot more shorter because these engines are a lot more efficient and they're faster. So they are able to take the planes at higher altitudes, which make it travel a lot more faster. So avionics will represent the electronic side of the aircraft. And basically, instead of you manually doing stuff in the aircraft, the pilots, so to speak, they're able to by the touch of a finger, change many things on the flight. A lot of what is happening with the aircraft is controlled electronically, automatically. So it relieves the workload from the pilots. And if we move to the navigation system, I can imagine like back in the early 19th century, where the Wright brothers make their first powered flight. They didn't have like navigation system, so they after developing those aircrafts, they would rely on like visual surroundings to say are they're at this point or they're at that point. So now we're able to benefit from the development of aviation from that time where we now have like radars to tell us exactly where we are. And as it relates to aerodynamics, this is essentially the body parts of the aircraft that makes it more streamlined and able to travel through the air more efficient. So you're going to save fuel, you're going to reach your destination faster. As it relates to profitability stems from the aircraft that are more fuel efficient, as I stated before. They're safe and environmental friendly.
Barriers. So first, I'm going to start with my introduction. The introduction on the rise of low-cost carrier has on the aviation industry. So first, we are going to define what is jet age. Jet age is a period in aviation history when jet engine becomes common and change air travel in the air. In the year of the 1940s, and it was marked the fastest and more efficient aircraft. Next, we are going to see how jet age reduce travel time. They dignitized airlines, the historical flight schedule, and construct a novel data set of flight network in the United States. Between the 1951 and the 1966, travel time between locations more than 2,000 kilograms apart decreased, and that's why they increased the knowledge and decision in the measured area. Next, we're going to ask ourselves to travel. The commercial air aviation involves more important aspect of permission to operate in commercial ways to permit in the year of 1944. They produce an important base of international aviation in the industry. The International Aviation Service agreed to partner with them, and they work on the following area, which allows the plane to signatory state to international airspace and land for non-commercial purposes.
So Aisha, to add to what you're saying, I think one of the main impact of the jet age is also safety, because the aviation industry looks at safety as one of its main priority. So to add to that, I think safety would be like one of the main um
Yeah.
main thing that we receive from jet age, I guess.
So next we have the LCS and airport relationship. The relationship between low-cost carriers, LCCS, and academics. LCCS choice of partnering with the airport is very determined by its operating model. Next, we have Jet Age Airline. Airlines of Jet Age provide their first comprehensive history in the world's airlines from the early 1960s until today's time. It begins with an informative introductory chapter, the flight development of air travel used in the First and Secondary World Wars, and wings into the first jet age to advent a jet airline. And last but not least, we have our conclusion. So the conclusion for this topic is how jet age makes a positive impact in the aviation industry by these areas that was mentioned above.
Right, so well, to start off, we know that the Airline Deregulation Act, it was an act to basically, just to lower fares and expand the service where persons could travel domestically, not just, because back then it was just rich persons who could actually afford to travel. So this act implemented just to allow everyone to actually take the opportunity to travel back and forth, not just for rich persons. So some of the benefits includes in regards to, I'm just going to read what I have here. So while air travel was once luxury, only the rich could afford the entry of more airlines. Serving the busiest and most profitable routes has caused airfares to plummet. Some of the benefits of the deregulation were the improved customer experience has been so some of the benefits were increased competition, lower ticket prices, and the expansion of airline services, simple fare structure, relatively low unit costs, multiple base network, offering point-to-point service, corporate culture, in regards to EasyJet, high commitment to safety and customer service, efficient use of airports with rapid turnaround times and highly profitable with rising demands as well. And then we have some of the airlines are plane. We have like airlines, Ryanair and Southwest Airlines popularized the low-cost carrier model, offering budget-friendly fares and simplified services. This led to increased competition and democrat. What is it? So this is the democratization.
Oh, the
Can't pronounce this word.
democratization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that
So
one.
so
Here
basically
trouble.
so basically it's the opposite of autocracy. Basically, so when the government was in control, the deregulation, what it does, it relieves them of control. So they are no longer in control to say, all right, here the airlines or the airports have to have this set price. So those airlines can set their own price, set what location they're going to fly to. And of course, you said, as you stated, this create competition between different airlines. And now we can see where the low cost carriers, which Southwest have been the biggest winner in that class. We see that the low class carriers have been a thing now, and even though they are low cost carriers, I think some of them have like certain amenities just to give them a little bit more edge over their competitors. So I do agree with the information that you just presented.
Okay. So this is my part of the presentation, looking at how technology has improved aviation. So technology has a great impact on the operational efficiency in aviation. Let's have a look on how. Technology has introduced better navigation systems in aviation. For example, GPS system means pilot can navigate the planes more precisely and reduce flight times. It has also improved safety, introducing new technology such as the collision avoidance system, which has made flying safer than ever before. Here's a look on how technology has reduced the environmental impact. Technology has reduced environmental impact by introducing sustainable aviation fuels, which are made from renewable sources and can reduce greenhouse gases. They have also introduced electric and hybrid electric, which uses lighter craft, leading to lower emissions. Technology has also impacted the passengers' safety. Here's a look on how. By introducing biometric screening and identification, facial recognition and biometric screening improve passenger verification and accuracy and speed. Advanced baggage screening is also greatly impacted the safety of passengers. And cybersecurity in aviation also greatly reduces impact the passenger's safety. And that's it.
So basically, technology has helped the pilot to navigate the aircraft.
Right. So in conclusion, technology has played a major role in improving aviation. It has enhanced passenger safety. It reduces greenhouse emission, which has caused major problems throughout aviation history.
So this has been our presentation on the journey of aviation from the military age to the modern commercial flights. And I hope that this will be useful to someone because there's a lot of knowledge within this presentation.